Hello, I'm your superhero critic, and I'll stay super as long as you stay awesome. And with the success of 1990s Ninja Turtles, plenty of other shows tackled anthropomorphic superheroes. From Street Sharks to Mighty Ducks on Disney to even Extreme Dinosaurs, my personal favorite was Biker Mice from Mars. Biker Mice from Mars is a show about anthropomorphic mice, motorcyclists, that have escaped a war on Mars, taking refuge on Earth, defending the planet from the voices of Limburger and his race of Plutarchans. The series lasted from 1993 to 1996 and ran for a total of 3 seasons, and got a one-season revival in 2006. However, today's review will actually be a look at the 3-issue miniseries published by Marvel and tells a retelling of their origin. So let's look at this 3-issue miniseries and see if the comic is as rockin' as the show. We begin in space. Now this is my idea of chillin', thumping through the cosmos, laying low with the radio dial on high. Explaining that Vinny lost half of his face, Moto lost his arm before they are attacked by ships. The ships are run by a Plutarchan fleet that just want to destroy the mice. Thunder, blow that ship to the 7 scattered galaxies now! Oh, I see how it is. Ignore the 8th galaxy. Only care about the first 7. Our heroes have been blasted out of space, and their ship heads to the planet below them, which is shown to be Earth, as they crash into a baseball field. Throttle gives his fellow mice some words of encouragement. It doesn't matter. In this universe, all you need is your brains, your bros, and your bikes. Let's rock and ride! Don't forget the cheese! The mice burst through the scoreboard as humans assume it's part of the game. The featureless guys in blue show up, so the mice take it as a cue to skidoo as they decide to take the alleyway where a guy is robbing another. Vinny swoops in and swipes the guy's gun, then blows the gun up in front of him. Always remember, guns don't kill people, but mice blow up guns. I don't know where I was going with that. The hot dog man thanks Vinny and he joins his brothers on the roof. The three then discuss why the place feels and smells familiar.
Smells like teenagers.
We meet our show's villain, Limburger, who is more concerned with monologuing with a rant about taking the world's air, water, and oil supply. You know, like a normal politician. Limburger brings in his pawn Grease Pit, who is clearly an imbecile or someone with a low intelligence. However, Limburger demands him to go and buy the Last Chance garage, which of course ends up being where our mice are heading to get their bikes looked at. But you know, cliche plot convenient. Meanwhile, inside the garage, Grease Pit is demanding our main female Charlie give up her shop and sign Limburger's deal, covering her in gross oil in the process. She of course says no and uses her lift to shove Grease Pit to the ceiling. You're starting to annoy me, lady. Someone like me when I'm annoyed. Vinny joins to save the girl, which of course pisses Grease Pit off. Vinny goes to kick him, but the big guy moves, crashing Vinny into a box. Come on, you wimp. Get up. What is you anyhow? A man or a mouse? That's specious. With the 3 mice against 1 goof, it's not long before Grease Pit is overcome and taken out. A Lardo here looks a little tired. I've rolled over with all these tire puns. Grease Pit does not like the outcome, but our mice tell him to give his boss a message, and issue 1 ends with a full panel of our mice celebrating victory. Our second issue begins with our heroes becoming acquainted. You were expecting maybe turtles? Of course. Start the second issue with a stab at the thing you're parodying. Good job, biker mice. Charlie is trying to wrap her head around everything, which doesn't help once she learns that they are not from Earth. Throttle decides showing is better than telling as we see the Plartarkans invading Mars and taking all their resources. Charlie deduces that Chicago may be next because
They're here.
Limburger is not at all happy with Grease Pit's failures, so much to the point his lips change colors 3 times in one page. Grease Pit explains why he failed, which forces Limburger to call on his mad scientist Carbuncle, demanding that he gives him a better way to catch the mice. I don't think a giant thing with spikes is gonna help, but okay. We head back to the garage where Charlie is helping the mice fix their bikes, including putting a new missile system in, which, unbeknownst to all of them, the missile hits Grease Pit, who recovers fast, grabs Charlie as she tries to investigate the damage. Biker bunnies, haul them gopher teeth out here now. I got a little surprise for you, namely your bimbo body. Grease Pit, that's Miss Bimbo to you, thank you. Our mice and Grease Pit have a standoff, with Grease Pit demanding that they not do anything foolish. So our mice agree as they get back into the shop.
Hey, it's getting tired of waiting out here. If you some biker mice ain't out in 2 seconds, I'm gonna...
You ask, and you shall receive. Odo shoots a laser to distract Grease Pit as Throttle destroys the mousetrap, sending Charlie skyward, only for Vinny to quick think and save her as she falls. Grease Pit tries to run away, but is quickly wrapped up and shot away. Charlie reminds the mice that Limburger may not be all too happy once Grease Pit lets him know he failed again, so they agree to take the fight to him. Meanwhile, Limburger is shown trying to seal the deal on another land purchase, only to get a personal guest crash through the name of Grease Pit. Now it's even at a point that villains don't even have respect for glass. Issue 2 ends with Limburger furious and demands that Carbuncle bring him a new way to bring the mice down. There's gonna be a lot of Arnold jokes in the rest of this review, isn't there?
You bet your ass, no!
Issue 3's first page rehashes the Doctor's words before we go to the mice in a spread riding up the side of Limburger's building. Up and coming team. Yeah, just like 2018's Jaguars. Fucking hating Patriots. With our mice reaching the roof, Limburger demands his defenses to get them, so our mice are met at the front door with a man in a tank. The mice then take little time in blowing the tank up. They try to say that courtesy is the rule of the road. They've clearly never driven in Virginia. Modo snatches the guy up, demanding him to show where Limburger is, only for another goon to pull a gun, and only for Modo to crush said gun, and Throttle comes from behind, tossing the guy aside. Our mice then decide the best approach is direct, as they crash through the window. It's superhero mice have no respect for glass. Our mice recognize Limburger's stench, but he tries to play it off as if he isn't who they think he is, only for Modo to rip his mask off, revealing his real face. Carbuncle joins the fight, surprising Modo, as we get a full-page spread learning that it is Carbuncle who is responsible for what happened to Modo's eyes and Vinny's face. The Doctor reveals his newest invention, the Exterminator.
No! Why'd you steal my Hasta La Vista? No! I hate you for that! No! I will make you pay!
Mice try to use the desk to defend themselves, only to be blasted out the window. So they whistle for their bikes to catch them, but of course our machine has a bike of his own, and the rat chase begins. Silence. That joke was funny. The mice lead our exterminator around the city as they split ways, Modo taking control of the situation and taking Nameless Thug out. Throttle then decides it's time to play hide and seek as he slides behind his robot friend, tossing him into what looks like magma.
What is wrong with this comic? It's always stealing my names and my hasta la vistas, and now it steals my death? How rude!
Our mini-series ends with Limburger talking about how it's now going to be harder for him to conquer the Earth. We then go to our mice who are discussing what they are going to do, which is staying on Earth to protect it from Limburger. And of course, party, party, party! These comics are actually pretty good. They feel like they've been ripped right out of the cartoon, not only in style, but comedy as well as the writing. That being said, it's now the month of February, so you know what that means? Video game tie-ins! This year we have a Patreon-sponsored video, a 3-issue miniseries we're going to look at, but we're going to start things off by continuing our more phenomenal year by taking a look at some Power Ranger games. I'm your superhero critic, and I'll stay super as long as you stay awesome.